This video is going to address brioche stitch for combination knitters. Combination knitters typically work the purl stitch with the yarn going in the clockwise direction, which creates a reverse stitch mount which needs to be corrected on the knit rows. In brioche stitch with the yarn overs and all, this can be quite confusing. So I'm making a video to help out. So let's enlarge this. This is in association with a colorwork sampler that I have. I'll put the link to the pattern down in the description. And it is a brioche section of a scarf. There's a little garter border on each side. So you don't normally do that with brioche, but for this little sample I am. So the first row we're going to be working is the dark side with the dark color. So we're going to get the dark color up and ready to go. And the first two stitches are just going to be knit. Now, we have our first yarn over and brioche knit stitch facing us. And the way we're going to work that is by knitting it through the forward leg. And now we have a stitch that was knit on the previous row, and we need to make a yarn over it. So we bring the yarn forward, slip the stitch point to point, and make a yarn over. Then we knit through the back loop, or the forward loop, I should say, the leading loop. The terminology is the leading loop. I'll get it. Yarn over, slip, knit through the leading side of the stitch, leading leg, yarn over, slip, knit through the leading leg, yarn over, slip, knit, knit. Now on the next pass is we slide these stitches to the other end of the needle, and we're going to be working with the light yarn. So this is the dark side light color, and these first two stitches are going to be purled because they're the garter edge. Doesn't have anything to do with brioche. So we're going to purl these Now, this stitch needs a yarn over. So we bring the yarn forward, yarn over. This is a normally worked stitch, so we're going to purl it. I shouldn't say normal, I should say non-combination. This is almost like, well, you know. Then we're going to purl. Did I purl the other one the correct way? Let me go back. Purl, slip yarn over, purl, slip yarn over, purl, slip yarn over, purl, and then purl, purl. Now we turn the work rather than sliding the stitches, and we're ready to work with the dark color. We have the light side, the dark color. So we're going to pull the dark color up. Get it ready. These first two stitches have the leading leg is to the back, so we're going to knit through the back, through the leading leg. Now we have a reverse stitch mount, and we need to slip this stitch, right? So in brioche with combination knitting, the difference is you want the yarn over to go in the same direction as the mount of the stitch. So in this case, instead of bringing the yarn forward and slip yarn over, we're going to leave the yarn to the back, slip yarn over. Then we're going to purl, leave the yarn to the back, slip yarn over, purl, yarn to the back, slip yarn over, purl, slip yarn over, purl, and then we purl these last two stitches. So for garter stitch, you're going to do this, work them through the leading leg, and then we slide this back to the other end. And we're going to work the light color on the light side. We'll do 2 more sets, and then we'll talk about increases and decreases. So we're going to purl, we're going to knit, knit, and now we have a brioche knit coming up here. So we're going to just knit it through the forward leg. Then we have a reverse stitch mount, so we're going to keep the yarn in the back, slip yarn forward, knit through the forward leg, the leading leg, slip, yarn over, knit. I actually really like this. It's very speedy. Less moving of the yarn back and forth. And then we've got to knit, knit. So now we turn the work and we're ready to do the dark color on the dark side. Knit, knit for the garter border. And then we have the reverse stitch mount, so we knit through the leading leg, leave the yarn in the back, slip yarn forward, no, yarn forward, slip. So when the blue, the dark color is on the dark side, you're going, because those stitches were knit the previous time, you're going to have the yarn forward, yarn over. So when you're knitting, yarn forward, yarn over. When you're purling, leave the yarn in the back and yarn over towards the front. So let's see if that works. We can make a little mantra for this. So now we've got the light color on the dark side. The first 2 stitches are going to be purl. For the garter border. If you're not doing a garter border, you just skip these 2, okay? Just ignore it. Now we're going to the leading legs right there. Let's see. We're going to slip 1 yarn over with the yarn in the front. Purl, slip 1 yarn over, purl, slip 1 yarn over, purl, slip 1 yarn over, purl, and purl, purl. We may end up having to do this 1 more time so that we get a system going here. It's looking really good. Oops, we're going to slide back and do the light. I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh no, we just did the light. Okay, now we're going to turn and do the dark color on the light side. So we're going to purl, 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 and then we are going to have our reverse yarn over. This is on the, so on the second side, that's when you do the reverse yarn over, purl, reverse yarn over, purl, reverse yarn over, purl, reverse yarn over, purl, and purl, purl. The idea is that the yarn overs need to go in the same direction as the stitch that they're being placed over. If that stitch has a reverse stitch mount, the yarn over needs to be reverse. If the stitch has a regular stitch mount, now we purled those, so we're going to knit, knit, knit through the leading leg, yarn forward, knit through the leading leg, yarn forward to match the stitch mount, yarn forward, I'll write this out in the description below for the directions for the 2 rows. How about that? I think that would be good. Okay, now let's try, we're going to be on the front side of the fabric. Now this is the front, this is the back. You could choose to have the light color on the front. In this instance, I chose to have the dark color. So it's row 1, 1, 2, 2. So when we're on the row 1 side, this is the side that we would make our increases or decreases on. So now we're going to talk about increases and decreases, okay? In combination knitting. Got one of my hairs in there. Okay, knit, knit, and we're going to work the first stitch. I don't care to make increases and decreases on the edge to show you. And then this is a standard yarn over. Now let's say that this is going to be the stitch you're going to increase in. You would do the increase in the normal manner. You're going through the back loop though. You knit, yarn over, knit, yarn over, knit. That's a double decrease. I mean double increase. A single increase is knit, yarn over, knit. If you want to make the double decrease, it's knit, yarn over, knit, yarn over, knit. Very simple. And then when you work the white, you would purl, purl. You would do a yarn over this stitch. You'd purl these 2 together. A yarn over, purl, yarn over, purl, yarn over, purl, yarn over. Now we have a slip 1 yarn over. Now let's make a right leaning decrease. In this case, you would slip this stitch like this. You would knit this stitch, slip this stitch over. It's exactly the same as doing a decrease for standard brioche, but now you have to reverse this stitch mount, the final step. You do have to reverse the stitch mount, slip this back over here, and slide this way. Now you have made what looks like a knit 2 together. Okay, so I've repositioned the stitches, and so we're going to do the left leaning decrease, which is equivalent to an SSK. So the first thing we're going to do is just slip this straight over to the right needle. We have to slip this and reverse this stitch mount and put these 2 back without splitting them, and then knit them all together as if it's a knit 2 together. Put them right next to this stitch. You're going to take the tip of your left needle and slide these over and off, and now you have the equivalent of an SSK. So there you have it. I hope that helps you with the combination knitting. I know it can be very frustrating. If you like my videos, hit the like button, the thumbs up button down there, and be sure to share with your friends. I'm sure there's a lot of other combination knitters that would enjoy seeing this, and you can subscribe to my channel.